Looking to improve your life, brush up on your personal growth techniques? You are in the right place. Welcome to Life's Little Lessons with your host, author of Designing Your Own Destiny, Kevin A. Dunlap.
Hello, everybody. This is Kevin Dunlap with Life's Little Lessons, and today I have a wonderful lady. We've been having some great conversations over the last few months. Her name is Anna Leonti, and she's a co-founder of a company called World Brand Company. She's a branding expert, works on logos on your website. We've got so much that I want to learn from her today. So anyway, without any further ado, Anna, welcome to our show today.
Thank you very much, Kevin. It's my greatest pleasure to be talking with you again today on the show. And thanks a lot for inviting me. It's been indeed a reward. It's very valuable to share everything that we were talking with you. And well, it's always a great pleasure if someone else will find it valuable.
Well, it's good to see you again. And I know we've been conversing a lot over the last couple of months. And I've been enjoying that, and I'm looking forward to actually sharing some of that out with the public here.
Thank you.
So, Anna, could you tell us a little bit about who you are and what is it that you do?
I have many slashers under my first name and last name because I like to constantly reinvent myself and expanding what I do and constantly learning things. But if I can define myself, that at the moment would be a journalist, philanthropist, personal branding coach. That is my greatest passion, which I was able to combine what I like the most and what I have my experience at is public relations, journalism, marketing, and a lot of psychology that I use a lot working with people and to make the difference in their life and professional and their public image.
Okay. And and how long have you been doing that for?
It goes back to about over 10 years now. When I was living and working in Russia, when I studied first English language and then I studied business. It was Academy of Marketing and Management in Moscow. And then I opened my own company in Russia, in Moscow. We consulted CEOs of the company and did lots of communications between the Russian businesses and the partners in Europe. There was a lot of traveling. It was a really exciting time. And then I had, I was invited to the United States as to speak at the board of business directors at Kalamazoo, Michigan in 2004 as a guest speaker of the month. And I was talking about business climate in Russia. And that was my first time when I actually came to the United States. The New York City, where I first saw this absolutely incredible views of Manhattan impressed me so much, the energy, the people, everything. So I had this dream, idea, the passion, how it's possible for me to one day to be living in the city like New York. So I was looking for many ways to do it, and I discovered that one way to live and in the big city is to study in schools. So I applied to several universities, and I had a passion to study journalism because I always wanted to use English language as a tool to tell stories that can change the world, change people, make the difference. So that was the dream that required a lot of hard work, but then I was accepted to this university. I got my scholarship, and then my journey in New York City started, which was incredibly exciting. And then I was doing an internship at United Nations, and I was working there in the TV and multimedia department, and also after that, a population fund. It's a journalist, so it's been absolutely amazing and incredible experience.
I know just when you just said you've done a lot from the branding, from the journalism. I know you're doing coaching now. You're helping people with building their brands and their personal in
Yeah.
our images. Now, tell us a little bit about that, because I know you're going to be traveling to Sri Lanka here soon. You're talking about possibly going to Cyprus, as well as some other things. What is that you do for the personal branding, and how can the listeners or viewers benefit from some of the stuff that you are able to share?
I create the personal branding strategy for entrepreneurs, for people in career that want big promotion in their company, for public figures. Basically, that's the public image that they already have as a brand. So I do the full diagnostics, how they look online, what kind of impression they produce, what people think about them when they name pops up, what uh, people associate them with. And I want to create a strategy for my clients that would make a big difference. And the audience, their target market, will see them as popular experts in their field. So we do the full diagnostics, then we'll see what their social media looks like, what they're posting there, what kind of image they have, what they're saying about their own work, and how to express the best way what exactly they're doing, what kind of value, their unique and very authentic value that they have, how to make this known to the audience. Because a lot of times, from my experience, people underestimate themselves. They're so focused on what exactly they do, they don't know how their brand looks like. And nowadays, this is a reality that people, they do judge book by the cover, and the image is truly important. And of course, the professionalism is essential. But at the same time, people that have effective and powerful personal brand, they have tremendous advantage, because nowadays we don't have much time to study about the person, their true values, how good they are. We just go with something that is truly and how this person can help us and what difference they can make. So the best way to express it and to really be effective and successful is to have personal brand, which is also really authentic, because a lot of people are also doing the same thing. Everybody now is a coach. So many people are doing business. So many people have a career in top management. A lot of people are in politics. But what makes a difference, this is key, being authentic, being totally true to yourself. You know, like Gary Vaynerchuk, he's probably one of the best examples of being totally authentic, which doesn't mean perfect, because it's something that people connect on much deeper level, and being able to bring that to the audience, being authentic, but at the same time, being polished, and create this better version of yourself. It's self-growing, a lot of self-development work, but it's also self-packaging as well. So being able not only to do the work on yourself to grow, but also to be able to present that and combine your value and your image in the best possible way. This is what I truly believe in, and this is what difference I want to make. And this is how I use a lot of psychology, a lot of writing as a journalist, to create the best, well, to best express their achievements, and a lot of marketing and public relations.
Now, when you're working with your clients, are you mainly like they're hiring you for the services and you're doing a lot of it for them, or are you basically teaching them how to do it so that they can go and do it on their own?
I do both, because one of the most important factors of personal brand is consistency. Mm-hmm. That you cannot just do it only once. You have to continually repeat and remind yourself. But that's why authenticity plays such an important role, because it's once you create a fake brand, as a lot of people think that's the way to go, then you cannot maintain it. In the long run, it's really hard work to do the brand maintenance. So once you understand the principle, the basics of how everything works, once we make the initial step together. Then I'm teaching my clients, giving them the strategy that they can use, that they can implement for their long-term career, and being able to reinvent themselves if they need to, or rebrand years from now. So sometimes we work at certain time, but then my clients, people that I work with, they come back to me. So we do rebranding together to make sure that we are still going at the same direction. And then as they're being authentic, they continue to use a strategy to implement that strategy in their life and in their work, and continue doing that on their own.
Okay. Because how long does the process take? If I were to hire you today, say, hey, I've got this new coaching business going on. If I were to hire you today, and you were to say either you're still in New York City with me here in Las Vegas, or you're coming here to Las Vegas, what is the expected turnaround time of a new entrepreneur or new business owner before when they hire your services?
Well, we live in such a unique time where we don't have to be at the same room to really work together as we do now. We don't have to be in the same time zone. We just have to be awake. And all interviews, internet makes it possible to talk to people and work with them. So once I study the person's personal brand online, everything that they have, what kind of their first impression, that often happens online before you even meet the person in real life, then we can work from any part of the globe that we are in, exchanging phone calls, messages, emails, of course, where answer all the questions consistently. So it doesn't matter where I am, and that's what my lifestyle a lot is. I really like to travel, meet new people, seeing different parts of the world, having new experiences. But at the same time, I created business out of this lifestyle to make sure that I can help as many people as I can. And also I'm teaching my clients things that I know, so they can also teach. And all together, we are making the difference in the ways that people can present themselves.
And I'm really realizing that myself right now, just because of these interviews. I mean, right now you're 3 time zones away from me, and I've had other conversations with other people on this show in other countries, and it's so funny that just how technology has come with, say, Zoom or Skype for video conferencing, or WhatsApp for telephone conferencing. With those things alone, we can be anywhere in the world and work with each other in real time. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it's a new trend. That's BOD, bring your own device. Basically, you can run the company from your cell phone, and if you have a computer, if you have a connection to the internet, then you can work from anywhere. Especially if you're really are the boss in your company. So that gives you a lot of freedom, a lot of different ways where you can be a lot more effective, and combining your business and your lifestyle as well.
And I love these jet setters that are going today. One of the first people I've interviewed on the show, a lady by the name of Galina Lapina. I don't know if you know her or not, but it was just talking with her. I mean, she's constantly traveling. I mean, I think her house, which is in Seattle, she's Russian. She was episode number 9. And she has her house completely rented out, and she's basically I think she's been living out of, like, say, a suitcase for I don't know how many months, probably a good 10 months to a year. I mean, she's in Mexico, she's in France, she's just traveling all over the world. And she's just, like you said, she just adjusts her clock to the clock of her clients, and that's when she's performing. Other than that, she just go out and see what the world has to offer. And that's the lifestyle of that, and you're doing a lot of that yourself. Even.
I think it's traveling is an education, because from every trip we're constantly learning something, and someone in the world is doing better than you, the same thing. They have different life experiences, and also getting out of the comfort zone is great. To really knowing what you are capable of, and that's great to totally come to the country with a different culture. And then you realize, wow, I'm 20 years old, I'm a teenager now, because I have to learn things all over again. It teaches you a lot of acceptance, and then you meet other professionals in your field who are doing similar things, but they're doing it differently. They have a different approach, they look at things differently, and seeing their things from their point of view, it's truly amazing, because then I just realize there is no one way to approach the same thing. You just have to look at it from different perspective, maybe combine several things and create something that is very unique, a unique blend from different things. And that's what I'm always doing in my work. Have to be open to new ideas, new people, but then create something on my own, very unique. And that's, I believe, makes it valuable.
Now, how did you get into personal branding specifically?
That was an interesting experience living in New York City and being a journalist, doing PR marketing, some promotional work. I was at the fashion show. It was years ago, and I met an amazing woman who had to be editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine of Germany. And we started having conversation, and then she mentioned then something that just going to the movie with a popcorn, for example, is not like contributing to her personal brand, which for me was a new word, which I thought the brand could be for the companies or for the clothesline. I didn't think that could be for the person. And then I came home and then something clicked. Something was truly inside me. I just realized that I really have to learn more. What is this thing? What does it really exist? Like what people are talking about. And then since then I realized in New York, in other big cities, New York, London, and then probably Paris, other places, people are talking, professionals are talking about personal brand, that it does make a difference, that you can promote and you can view yourself in a certain way and present this, the vision of yourself to the right audience. So basically you are like a CEO of your own company, your own person, like brand called me, and then you can control the way that people can see you, and at the same time doing it in a very unique way, being very authentic, that people instantly know who you are. And then I discovered, of course, that brand like first originated from the many years ago in ancient times, when people had cows and there were the herds of cows in the field. And some cows were quite special. They were better. They were giving more milk, and they were better quality. They were kind of few cows there were just outperformed others. They were special. And so the farmers, they were put some mark on their horns, on them, on the cow. And the mark was originally called brands. They were branding the cows. So they were special cows. They were special because they were branded. And that's how the idea came from. So the clothes with the companies, how to stand out, how to tell the world that you promise, it's a promise to deliver something that's valuable, and then that's how you brand yourself. And that's what people are doing with their personal brand, is the same thing. You just brand yourself a certain way to basically declare the world that you have value, and then you have a mission, and then that's you promise to deliver something, and you're doing it better than anyone else. that is the reason why they should be working, engaging, and doing things with you rather than thousands of other people who are doing the same thing.
And so if somebody's is just starting out, I mean, what are they focusing as a brand? Branding is like the word marketing. It can be such a big thing that they don't realize. So what
Yes.
would a beginning person do as, let's say, a newbie entrepreneur, a
Yeah.
solopreneur even? When you say branding, are you saying like color schemes? Are you talking about their behavior or how they post on what social media platforms that they're on, or what is it?
Just the details. When you build a house, then you need to build a basement first. You need to have the branding, the platform, um, the initial set of things. First of all, you determine your goals, why you need the brand. And that sometimes we go through this process of rather uncomfortable questions. What is your weakness? What is a challenge for you? What are you afraid of doing? So you need to really get out how do you define yourself, who you really are. And then we do all this work together when I ask people to describe themselves in some adjectives, how they see themselves. And then we ask their customers or their colleagues, people that know them well, to describe them using exact the same 10 words. What words are similar? Then we circle them together to determine like what exactly, then the 10 words become 3. What is the core of your brand? To see what things that initially you, and make sure that everything that you do, it complements, it adds value to this core. Because with the color, with the logo, that's also this is the steps. It is something that doesn't make any sense to start with, and that's what a lot of people think. If I just make a fancy logo and the website, or then just do this totally like this fun, great things that make myself look better, this is not the way to do it. Because first of all, it's a lot of self-discovery. You need to find and determine who you are. It's basically the same way as you are preparing a meal. You need all the ingredients. First of all, what the main ingredients, and then the strategy. What goal, what do you want to accomplish? And to make sure that everything that you do serves that, everything that you do, you're moving in the right direction with all their strategies. The tone of your brand, the voice of your brand, what people are talking about you, what testimonials you're getting, are they complementing each other or they're conflicting? Because if you have a conflicting messages, then you don't have a brand.
Okay.
Because imagine if you have even the car, which have a wheel from Mercedes and the engine from Rolls-Royce and their cheers are from Toyota, and put it all together, it just doesn't make any sense. This car will not go anywhere. So to create a brand, you have to be consistent. And also what the other challenging part that a lot of people that I work with see, that it's the ability to say no. Because in a lot of times we are facing lots of opportunities that some are serving our brand and some don't. And when we're trying to engage in so many different activities, and people offer us money, and then you're doing this, and this, a little bit of everything, then you're not being consistent. Then it's challenging to learn to say no to some things if it doesn't serve your brand in the long run. And to know who you are and to stick with your value, with your goals, and be patient, and knowing that you will be rewarded for all your efforts.
Okay. And I have seen that where people are inconsistent, or they do send the confusing messages because they're trying to please too many clients, or try to attract too many clients, not realizing that that's doing them a disservice. Because
Exactly. imagine a restaurant that serves pizza and foie gras and sushi and Russian borscht and so many other things, basically everything. So you will not want to eat in this restaurant because that means they're not good at anything in particular. Because if you want the pizza, then you go to the best pizzeria, and that's where you get the best product. So what specific you want to be known for? Kind of cut, that make your niche more specific and put all your efforts towards that.
Okay. Well, that's very good to say that, because yeah, like I'll just say, if you're too diversified, then yeah, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yes, exactly. So that's is truly fundamentally important for people to realize that.
And could you explain what all things does your company, which is called World Brand Company,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are all the services that you actually provide to your clientele? Because I know you have a partner as well.
Yes, and because branding goes hand in hand with design, so we're a branding and design company. So we also create logos, we create websites, brochures, presentations, and everything, the visual part as well. But that's why we work together and coordinate our visions, because in the business, it's fundamentally important to have the same idea, the same values. That's is a big part. So I develop the personal branding strategy. I do the writing part, all the speaking, everything that is required from the person to get from point A to point B to their goals, and with my partner. And while we also outsource a lot of it, she does the image and design, and she's also an artist, a very talented one, who makes a beautiful vision and representation of the brand, to make sure that this image is beautiful and attractive towards the audience of our clients.
And okay, and how long you guys been in business together?
We know each other for quite a while. We worked together while working with the various artists. So we started a company earlier this year, so made it official, but we were working together before. So that definitely brings the sense of like a family together. So because a lot of things we don't even have to explain to each other. So and that's what I believe in, like having a value. It just happens very naturally, it happens very organically. So we decided to just start a business which is new for both of us, because we both have some valuable background in our professional life. And then we just joined our efforts, and we can see now how we can maximize the value of everything that we do. Because it's truly difficult, hard work to do everything on your own, because nobody is good at absolutely everything. You just have to be doing what you do best.
And I know I've said that quite a few times on this show, is doing joint ventures or doing partnerships or doing something like that. Because like Anna just said, you're not going to be an expert at everything. So by like, she does the creative side while you're doing the journalism side. So she picks up on areas that you're not the expert in, and you pick up areas that she's not the expert in, and it's a great symbiotic relationship.
To make a great website, you need both the visual representation and the content as well.
Yeah, the copy. I know for me, I mean, I can do a lot of the WordPress design for a website, but I'm just not very good at copy or the content. That's, leave that for somebody else, right?
Yes. Well, and just have to make sure that the person can truly know what exactly you're doing. Your value. You have to find the best language, the best as a tool to describe in the best possible way that it resonates. Because with the words, with the choice of language, you can truly make a great difference. It's just because now people, they know facts are very important, to that they're accurate, but also the choice of words, it has to resonate, it has to be emotional, And that was a really big challenge for me to learn at the journalism school. But then once you have a lot of practice doing the writing every single day, then it gets better, easier. And sometimes you just have to really just feel the personality to be able to express their value so the audience would know to where to go for what they need and to kind of immediately click. And that's what, and every brand, you have to make sure they have three factors. It's know, like, and trust, that you're known well in your industry, that people trust you, and then people like what you're doing, which is true that it's impossible for everybody to like you, but people who like you, they really, really like you, and they become your fans, and then they bring you lots of other people and clients.
I was told this even back in the 90s when I had my very first mentor. And essentially, he says, when you start developing enemies or people that don't like you, then you know you're doing something right. Because if you're trying to please and you are pleasing everybody, you're not making any changes, or you're not making any strides. You're not growing. But when you have those when you have that opposition, now you're beginning to make a difference. Now, I'm not saying go out there and start hurting people, because then everybody's going to dislike you. But I'm just saying, you've got to take those risks. You got to take those challenges. So yes, know, like, and trust you, but you also need to be unique and different.
Absolutely. It is so very true. So if people are talking, then what they say, if people are talking behind your back, that means that you're ahead. And
that's a good one.
that you are actually doing something valuable, because, well, it's a rule number one in all the PR that there's no bad publicity. And people, sometimes it's a lot easier for people to criticize others and then to take risk and do everything themselves. And that's a rule that's in the business and in everything that you do. I just realized sometimes you have to make sure that the result that delivering it's a lot better than perfect. It's actually just bring it and doing it. It's more important. Because if you polish everything till perfection, then sometimes you'll be waiting for a very, very long time, and that is not going to happen. So sometimes a lot of people are just taking these risks.
Well, there's a gentleman by the name of Tom Wilhite. I probably don't know who he is. He's the founder of a personal growth company called PSI Seminars. He started that back in the 70s. And in his book, Pathways to Freedom, he wrote about, he joined Toastmasters, and he became so good on stage, never an never an on, none of those hesitation words, that when he started presenting in public, that people he was so polished that people did not believe him. Well, he had to actually go back and start to deliberately become unpolished, just so that people would actually take him seriously.
Yeah, because that's
it didn't sound natural, is what it was.
Yes, it's definitely worth be more human, and that's how we connect to people, by just showing our true unique self. Yes, because a lot of if the personas, people that trying to create this to be too perfect, then immediately people think they're not real, because perfect is sometimes associated with being fake.
And I could be a true testimony to what Anna just said there. If you're listening to to Life's Little Lessons, the second season, which is I call it the interview season, go back and listen to the first 10 episodes. And I guarantee you, there's not going to be a single breath in any of the things. There's no breathing. There is no there's no there's no you knows. All of that was taken out. But then when I was going to a podcasters meeting, a monthly meeting, and that's when they started saying, you need to leave some of that stuff in, because it needs to sound natural. When it sounds too clear, then people may not believe you. So definitely listen to any of those first 10 or 12 episodes. I think the last one that I did was Robin Eckersley. So she was one of the last ones that I was very adamant making sure everything was clean. That's when I started, let's make this a little bit more natural. So I will go and polish up the show a little bit, but not so much like I did in the first few episodes, because it just doesn't. To me, it sounds better, but to the audience, it may sound a little bit like you said, it was a little bit fake.
That's absolutely true. Very, very important to still being able to express yourself, but connect to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And since you're already there and doing your show, that already means that you're like doing outstanding work and taking a risk and doing more than anybody else is doing, which is a totally new level, and that's already absolutely impressive.
Well, thank you. Well, I started this show in October 2017 for the second season on an interview-based show. I know we're right around the 60th episode. I'm not exactly sure what part you're going to be launched at, but you're right around the 60th episode.
Wow, so impressive.
Well, it's for doing this for a year now. That's a lot of different interviews, and just starting off with a lady by the name of Daniela Molina. She was in South America when I interviewed her at the time. So that's my first one outside the continental North America, or excuse me, outside of North America, which that led me to going over to Europe and Russia, which led me to you. And it's it's been a phenomenal ride over the last year.
Yes, very impressive, because it's a big learning experience also for both sides, I believe. And it's great that you were able to connect with so many outstanding people who are doing amazing things in their work. And it's an honor for me to be a part of this, and honor to be invited to talk about what I do, because, well, you bring the value out of each person, which multiplies, and it's a great opportunity to reach to the different audience, to just kind of bring value to, because now it makes it, it's possible to be on a show, even you don't have to really be on television as it was before. So you can have your own broadcast, your own media, where you are CEO, and that's exactly like you can make absolutely everything the way that you see it, which is beautiful.
Well, thank you, Anna. I appreciate that. As we're starting to wrap up our time here, or is there any way that if somebody wants to talk to you about branding, or talk to you about building their websites or things like that, how can they get a hold of you? You have what is your website, or what is a way that they can get a hold of you?
The easiest way is just to go online, go to our website, worldbrandcompany.com, or there's an email, info or anna@worldbrandcompany.com for questions, comments, for everything. Then you can find us on social media. We have the same Instagram account. We have Facebook page that we constantly make updates for the tips, for things that we also the value that we share. Then we connect with people that we are already working with, and we form lots of partnerships for the value that we provide to each other. Yes, please go online, find us, and we love to make the difference and see how we can help people to create their very unique and very powerful personal brand, and make people more successful and enjoy their life better, because that's exactly what personal brands, they allow you to do.
Oh, wow, that's a lot right there. So those you have to go to worldbrandcompany.com. I'm on the website now. It's a beautiful website. I see both yourself and your partner, Vera, I guess is her name.
Yeah, yes, Vera Khodakova. She's Russian. She's based in Moscow, but she's also traveled all over the world. She'll be in New York early next month. We'll be working some projects together and attending some art galleries, which I'm very much looking forward to. When there's two creative people get together in one place, then that's where we can work a lot, and we never feel tired. Never. Actually, that's what we know just for the entire year that we've been working together closely. There's such a great support in everything that we do, great support to each other. And even if you're tired at the end of the day, it's a different kind of tired.
Hmm. Well, and there's. I remember one of the quotes from a gentleman by the name of Vince Lombardi,
Mm-hmm.
which was the coach for the Green Bay Packers back during the first couple of years of the initial Super Bowl I and Super Bowl II. And I don't remember the exact quote, but he said, "There's nothing, or there's no greater feeling than laying on the field exhausted, knowing that you gave it your all."
Absolutely. So very true. And that resonates a lot. Yes, because instead of working 8 hours a day, sometimes you need to work 16 hours a day, and you're so happy doing that. And there's nothing else that you would rather be doing than making the difference in your company, in your brand, that basically just playing by your rules. And it's been extremely rewarding. So we'll see what's next. We're a new company, but we're very much excited doing what we are doing. We're proud of the results that we already have. And we're very inspired working with so many talented, hardworking and really amazing people of their business. They're already achieved a lot in their career. And now at the point when they need to redefine themselves or present their work to the world. And that's what we are so happy and so honored to do.
Well, those of you that are watching the video, you can see the how, the energy just coming off her face, the smile. That's absolutely wonderful.
I think that's a really great pleasure. That's what you feel, what you experience when you're doing what you really love to be doing.
Next time you are going to be needing some branding advice, I would say definitely give Anna a call, and they just go to worldbrandcompany.com.
WBC. I think it's just the easiest. It's the WBC.
WBC. It'd be good if you could get that URL.
Absolutely. World Brand Company. Thank you so much. And I would cannot recommend watching your show enough to absolutely everybody. Because I've been watching so many different episodes for over the past 2 months. That was a lot in the background, and that was a lot of inspiration. I cannot think of anyone like a better host of the show than you, because it's a great energy. That's, the like attracts the like, and that's what happens here. A lot of positive energy that just spreads in the world, and you do make a really, really great difference in your work, in promoting people this way, and it's just a pleasure of in-depth conversation that doesn't happen that often in our lives. So I'm just happy to share that with you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Anna. And I'm highly thank you very much. Well, for everybody out there, it's been great having you on the show. Everybody out there, definitely check her out. Also, don't forget to go to kevinadunlap.com, which is my website, which I help people with their business coaching. And definitely go to the podcast page so you can see some of the other interviews that Anna was just referencing to. If you're not on that website, you're on iTunes or Stitcher, whatever, go ahead and follow our show. We'd love to also hear some comments that you have about what you like or dislike about the show, because I'm always looking to improve, so this always has to be positive. And any last words, Anna, before we go?
Just thank you so much for incredibly great questions, and for just really helping me. Like every single time we talk, I always discover something that for myself that I could be better at, that's something I can express better, or there's direction that I want to be going next. And this was absolutely great experience being in the show, answering your questions. So a very interesting question that made me think about something new that I haven't probably thought before. So I'm very grateful to you for that. And thank you for everything that you are doing and for your show.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Life's Little Lessons with your host, author of Designing Your Own Destiny, Kevin A. Dunlap. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit kevinadunlap.com, facebook.com/kevinadunlap.author, and on Twitter @KevinADunlap. We'll catch you on the next episode of Life's Little Lessons.